forget how horses don't doubt. You don't have to run.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Christmas party of the Keith Andrew Network. It is 768. That's right, episode 768. We're here. It's the first ever Christmas party for everyone who's part of this. Thank you for everyone who couldn't make it. There's always next time. And by the way, June 10th, remember this, write this on your calendar. June 10th at 5 o'clock is my 8-year anniversary. So we're going to do something for that.
Yeah. That's my anniversary with my husband.
Oh, congrats.
All right, congrats. All right.
15 years.
How dare you?
Oh, 16 years next year.
On Keith Andrew Day?
Sorry, I stole your ring. I rained on your parade.
No, it's fine. Congrats. And I forgot to tell you, I know I sent you a message. Congrats on being a mother.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Yes, I have 2 now.
Best job in the world.
Yes, it is.
I've done it 4 times. I love it.
Wow.
Woo.
I've done it twice.
That's up to you.
Oh, you gave birth? Okay, thanks, Bob. Thank you.
So with that being said, it's normal conversation. So for me, I guess I'm the host, but actually it's not all about me. Ladies first. So let's start with older girls in the room. Ladies, sorry. I don't know what's the correct term. Ladies, girls, I don't know what the proper term is. Whatever it is, I'm always going to put my foot in my mouth anyway. How was
I thought your head was up your ass.
Whoever wants to start.
Oh, we're doing the ladies? Beth, you were here before I was. You go first.
Sure. We'll go with age first. We'll do that.
Oh, stop it.
Oh yeah. So, well, let me set the precedent of let's introduce ourselves so we kind of know who is here, and also I'm going to explain how I connected with Keith, and I think that's always super fun to hear how that goes. And when I introduce myself, that'll make a little sense. So my name's Beth Bridges, and I'm known as the Networking Motivator because I attended over 2,500 networking events in about 10 years, in-person networking events in about 10 years. And I realized that's not scalable. Most people are not in a position to do that. So I ended up writing a book about networking. And I believe, Keith, we connected on Twitter because of that. So I was pretty active on Twitter at the time, and I'm trying to remember now if it was something about the networking that connected you, made you want to connect with me. And I ended up being interviewed early on in the Keith Andrew Network. I want to say, Keith, that it was, we tried to figure this out once before, but I think it was maybe 2017. And
That's been a
so
while.
3 years ago, yeah. And Keith is an excellent networker because he's stayed in contact, he's stayed connected with me, and just every once in a while reaches out and says hi and invites me to things. And I really like that, and I really admire Keith's persistence and his perseverance and just sticking with it, and I know he's a little self-critical once in a while that but most people don't stick with things this long, and that's really, it's really admirable, and I really appreciate that. I'm
here.
Excellent.
Hello.
And about your
So 2020, like everybody else, I'm in California. Like everybody else, I experienced, how much fun COVID and the government response to COVID. That was extremely fun. And I'm in California, so it's even, we are like, except for New York, I think we are like the home of the most fun with COVID. And so that was really difficult. But because of COVID, I dug back into my networking connections archives and reconnected with someone who had a software platform that I used 12 years ago. And it was something I thought, man, these guys got to revive this for COVID. I'm going to track them down and just like beg them to bring it back. And in the process, discovered that they'd already had that thought and that they had launched it about 3 weeks before I found them. And I got so involved with the platform and leveraging it for networking that they invited me to be part of their team. And so now I'm a part owner of this software company. And it's all because of COVID. Now, right now, my shares of the company are worth $1.80.
I'll give you $2.
Yeah, right. Which means I'm making
so
I'm
like
making about
30
a tenth of a penny per hour. But it is one of those things that it's high risk because of the amount of time and effort, but it's also potentially high reward, and that would not have happened this year without COVID and without 2020. So
Yeah, absolutely. I know.
that's
we
my
got
story.
some-
That's my whole story.
All right.
I know I said ladies first, so who wants to go next?
Well, we're going by age. I'm just assuming we're the same age, Beth. I'm sure we are. So my name is Stephanie Herrera, and I am in the Toronto area, just outside of Toronto, but originally from Toronto. And I met Keith. He reached out to me on Facebook, I believe. And when I did my research to figure out, okay, who is this guy? I've never heard of him. That's where I saw Bobby down here. And I watched your video first, actually. And I said, hey, this is a serious interview show. This is really cool. And that's why I know this gentleman as well. And so I am an actor, writer by trade. COVID came at an interesting time because I was also starting my day job. I keep disappearing, which is my friend convinced me to get into insurance. He dragged me into his insurance business. So I head his entertainment insurance division, as well as do a lot of corporate and business insurance. So I was settled in. I was still under salary that COVID hit. So I was a very lucky person where I was still getting a salary. It slowed down. We all went home. I'm loving working from home and being with my kids. And so I came out of it okay, but it was devastating because I really love things like TIFF parties. I thrive with people, and that really killed me. And I had a lot of my entertainment insurance business come from last year's TIFF, and then this year's was, a no-show. So that was really hard.
TIFF?
There were things that were- TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival. Killer parties, that's like the cons and all that kind of thing. It's our Toronto one, and it's huge and it's fantastic. So that was kind of hard. There were things like that were really hard. It's hard not being able to just go out to dinner with friends. It's hard not to, because I am very social, but we're a household of 6 people, so we're okay. we're a nice big family as it is. But it was interesting to go back to filming. So I'm into holiday movies right now with cameos in some Christmas movies right now on television on Netflix, which is fun. So if anyone's looking for my little cameos there, I think it's Christmas Unlocked and Christmas Unwrapped, I think are the 2. But yeah, it's an interesting world in the entertainment world right now with COVID. All right, ladies, we got 3, and there's Monica too.
Yeah. I reckon
Who wants to go
I
next?
think I'm older than you, Stephanie.
I spent a lot of money on my face. I'm like 1,000 years old. It's all makeup and
Yesterday, I think
Not
I was
injectables.
2,000 years old.
By
I'm
the way,
actually from Australia, and I live in Melbourne. COVID for us, if you've heard of the state of Victoria, we were rubbish so much when COVID hit and we went into a very serious lockdown. But mind you, I just finished coming off doing a musical.
Oh, nice.
And just after the musical, and then all of a sudden all this hit. And I've got a 17-year-old son, got a 21-year-old daughter doing uni. And then I thought, well, what can I do while everything's all locked down? So I decided to go into studying myself, doing my old accounting again. But I first met Keith through Facebook. But I'm also to have a diploma in education support to help those that are struggling with their education, primary school, etc., to get to help them through the little bits. And also too, in the beginning of the year, I managed to do a read to 300 primary school students. So yeah, in one day. So by the time I finished, I was exhausted, but that was the most fun I ever had, because there were these students that wouldn't listen to their teachers, but because being an actress and using the different accents I use, they go, oh, what other language can you speak? And that is so priceless. And for somebody who would tear up the classroom, just stand there next to you while you're reading a book, that was gold, I think.
Yeah.
And I've got actually a couple of movies from Australia. One's actually doing its treat around the States called The Faceless Man. It's a horror comedy. So I appear in 2 sets because they call me down here what's known as the chameleon, because I have at least 11 weeks and I can change my look. So it's so much fun in changing my accents.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
Nice. You said you do musicals there?
Sorry?
You said you do musicals in Melbourne?
Yes.
Do you know my? I know, like maybe it's a huge world, but my friend Nigel. Oh my god, I love him. What is it? Nigel Huckle.
No, I've just started out, but I'm doing.
Oh.
I've done a couple, and the one that I'm doing again with, this will be about my 4th, 5th time I've worked with him, is a guy by the name of Warren Wills.
Oh,
And he is a well-known pianist, but he does more work
Pianist?
in the...
Oh, sorry, uncensored.
It's a family show, Keith.
I can edit that.
No, but we're rewriting what we performed 2 years ago called Night of Broken Glass for the thing, but we're rewriting it to coincide with how the Jews were and the Aboriginals here, how they were mistreated. So there's a lot of research going on. And I've already written 2 pieces for it, so...
How drunk are you, Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura Nicholas Elias. I go by Laura Nicholas professionally. I'm an actor as well. I did a lot of musical theater, but I was kind of on hiatus from auditioning and all that because I had a baby in August of 2019. And so I've just been kind of taking my time. When COVID hit, I'm actually kind of okay with everything. No, I mean, not with everything, but I consider myself lucky that I have some work from home things that I have been able to do and I could stay with my family. I'm a pretty extroverted person, so I miss that kind of face-to-face human connection, getting together with my friends. But we've just been very lucky in the sense that I live in a building where I'm friends with a lot of other families, and we formed our own quarantine, is what we call it. And it hasn't been bad. I do my work from home. I work for my aunt, a lot of kind of more secretarial work is my side gig. And that's been going well. In the summer, I founded Young Filipino Americans for Biden. We helped in campaigning within the Filipino American community for Biden and Harris. And we had, I did a lot of event planning, and we launched a social media campaign across all platforms. And that was very fulfilling. And when Biden won, it was just amazing that to feel like you were part of something. Apart from that, my film that a film that I'm in that I did in 2018, the end of 2018, was finally released, and it went through the festival circuit. It won several awards, and it ended at Hawaiian International Film Festival. And they said we're not done with the festival circuit yet. So that was also another exciting thing that happened to me this year. And there's also like a plethora of just like virtual events. So I feel like there's always something to do. So yeah, it's not so bad. I guess I always look to the bright side of things. And while we were at first one of the most badly hit in New York City, you know, the city always survives, and we're still here, and it's all good. And I guess that's it. I don't know who's next. Natalyn, I guess.
That is. Okay, what was the question? Because I missed it.
Your year. Your year, and who are you? Who are you, and how was your year?
Perfect. Okay, so I'm Natalyn Luke. I'm a fellow actress. Goodness gracious. Let's start at the beginning of the year. It was a total mess, actually. Everything's finally coming together now that it's the end of the year. The beginning of the year, when COVID first hit, I was scared to death. But I started being homeschooled this year, which definitely was a pretty good idea since all this hit. And God, there's so much things I could talk about. I have not gotten any roles yet, but I have been an extra in quite a few films, like Mustang, which hit theaters, which was awesome. It was totally crazy. You could actually see me in one of the end scenes, and I had a line, which was cool.
Yeah.
You're not extra if you have a line.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, you got under 5.
Under 5, yeah.
Goodness. I honestly don't know what to talk about.
oh, do it. We'll come back. Are we starting? We should probably get on with the guys. They've been so patient, you gentlemen. Who's going first?
Oh, we do have a former world champion here. I think we would love to hear his story.
Talking about me, dog? You know what's crazy? I lost it. So
Yeah,
I'm not
go ahead.
on my guy. But all right. So how I met Keith to start off, I assume he was just stalking my profile on social media, and then we all know his situation, and he definitely surprised me with how he carried himself in just that first message and everything, and we ended up agreeing to do his show he does on Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff, and he gave me a sample of his work. Just I got to check out people, because I get messages all the time like, hey, can you do a video for me for my son, for my kid, or can you send me some money? I don't know. I get a bunch of weirdos a lot. I'm not even like a big shot, you know what I mean? They're just weirdos, you know how it is.
Can you send me some money, by the way?
Okay, I forgot to actually introduce myself. So my name is my birth name is Eduardo Gonzalez, and I'm a professional wrestler going by the name of Mr. Motivation, Eddie Velasquez. And I'm also a guitar player, writer, U.S. Marine. I'm just trying to make myself sound cool, because y'all have actual credentials, you know.
Wow.
Thank you for your service.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm Canadian, but thank you for their service. I don't know.
I got your back too, man. No.
Okay. Thank you.
And then we just got to know each other. He was real friendly, and he was just easy to talk to. And then, but about this year, to I guess give a quick run about it, we all had our fumbles with everything. At least for pro wrestling, I was about to have a bigger bloom than I ended up having this year. I had at least one small goal, which was to win one belt. Luckily, I ended up winning 2. Don't have either of them at the moment, but there's more coming later. It is what it is, and what I would say 2020 has taught me was, 1, to be creative, 2, to just have fun. I mean, whether it's with yourself, because obviously I'm sure we all had a lot of time with ourselves. You know what I mean? Get closer with those around you, whether it's fam or friends. If your circle will dwindle down, that's perfectly fine. It's hard to keep track of everybody. I mean, if we all get to know each other, who knows if we're all gonna, keep track of everyone's details. But yeah, just be grateful for everything you got. That's pretty much it.
There it is.
Beautiful.
Carry on.
In a way, I feel like 2020 made us even more connected in a way, because
Yeah.
because
In a different way, yes.
we're all home. A lot of us are
Right.
home.
It's very
And now, oh, I have to check up on these people, and you actually have the time to do it. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I know some of you had said you had a lot of time with your kids, right? My cousin, who's only 6 months older than me, he had the perfect line. He said, if you lost your job and you're at least collecting unemployment, or if you're at least working from home and you are complaining about seeing your wife or your kids every day, seeing them too much, you have bigger problems than COVID.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of put things in perspective. Just don't
I agree.
be a whole person,
Absolutely.
If you're mad about seeing the person you agreed to spend the rest of your life with, or the people you agreed to create,
Yeah.
you're just a miserable person.
Amen.
Right.
No,
I guess I'll speak next. My name's Barry Papik. I met Keith online, and I was on Keith's first season and his last season. I'm an actor and an acting coach and a teacher. I've coached some of the most famous people in the world: Sean Connery, Jamie Foxx, and I won an Academy Award. Alec Baldwin, Dennis Quaid. I've also been in the movies Private Parts, Simone, and I did Finding Forrester up in your neck of the woods, Stephanie.
Ah.
I had COVID, and fortunately, knock on wood, it was a very light case, and I still feel it started out 3 weeks ago, and I still feel the effects of it. I have 2 movies that are coming out, Amityville Rising and The Big Rat. They both of them should be in theaters after the first. And 2020 was a pretty interesting year. I've been doing most of my teaching and coaching online. Because I had a class for a long time, and obviously haven't been able to meet with people, meet with the class in person. That's what I've been doing. I'm still doing a lot of coaching online. I still coach a lot of people who are on TV and in films, and and still making movies. We made Amityville Rising 3 months ago, which was a great set and very safe set. So that's pretty much what I've been doing.
Cool.
Hey, we're glad you're here, man.
Glad you're here, man.
Yeah, well, thank you. It was like the worst flu that I've ever had, and it was a struggle, but fortunately, I'm getting past it, and thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You said you're still feeling symptoms.
Yeah, it's been 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm still feeling weakness and tiredness. I mean, the exhaustion was unbelievable, and and I'm still feeling some body aches. But all in all, it's I've made out a lot better than a lot of people. So I'm blessed.
Yeah, you are.
I had a terrible. I never had a fever. I had a terrible headache, a terrible, cough, and tested positive twice, unfortunately. I'm through the other side, which is the most important thing.
Nah, man. Thank God for your life, bro, man.
Thank you.
I'm glad to have you here.
It's good to be here.
Yeah.
Hope you're taking it easy.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm, just the key is just to take everything slowly and not just burst back. And I was working out and walking a lot, and now I'm just taking it easy and walking and just walking half of what I used to do and getting back there.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Okay, so I guess HB, you're going last, right?
Yeah, I think I better.
'Cause you've got the mic drop, so. All right, I guess I'll go. I'm Bobby Del Rio. Hey, what's up? My Zoom name says Bob Man Jones because I just wrote that. I don't know. I could change it, but I kind of like it. It confuses people. I kind of like to confuse people. I'm an actor, writer, director. I'm up here in Canada, in Toronto. So I actually, COVID was actually okay for me because I'm a bit of a recluse and an introvert. So I'm kind of like, I can just justify why I didn't go to your house party now. It's like, I want to go. I just COVID, damn. But I actually got a distribution deal for a feature film that I wrote and directed during quarantine. And so it's called The Market. It's available on Amazon Prime in the US and the UK. And it's, in a way it's good, in a way it's terrible, because it's like my movie's a conspiracy theory about these 4 bond traders who crashed the world economy on purpose as sort of a heist. And then the economy collapsed for real. And then all of a sudden my movie seemed more interesting. So I got a distribution deal, but it's like on the backs of, we're actually all like in this actual economic catastrophe. But I do think that it's going to be hopefully a V-shaped recovery, but maybe a K-shape. But basically, like, as soon as COVID's done, like, I expect the economy to boom immediately. So I think good days are ahead. But we just got to get through the last few months here, I think.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Once there's a there are vaccines, but once things start falling into place, that's all that matters. But then you're going to have all the assholes who don't want to be vaccinated, and you can't have herd immunity if not everyone gets vaccinated. And then it's, I don't know, you can't deal with stupid. But you can stupid with a 2x4.
I mean, eventually, I think enough people will get it. I think it's even like 60% or something. You get herd immunity, so at some point we'll get it. But as soon as we're good to go again, like, I studied economics at U of T originally, and it's going to be like the Roaring 20s. Like, if you look at the global flu pandemic, right, 1918, like right after that, you had some of the best, like, our economy's ever done in the history of civilization. So I think it's like we're all going to be here like party, eggnog.
That's super interesting. I had not made that connection to think about it, and just imagine how happy we will all be to be able to be together, and what kind of like almost euphoria that will generate. Okay, Bob.
Oh, it's going to be unprecedented.
Was it the same after the Spanish flu too, as well?
The Roaring 20s were right after the Spanish flu.
Spanish flu was 1918.
Well, that's right. It extended. It was a really long one too. Everyone thinks it was like less long, but it was
And I actually think we're in a better position. This is just my economics background, but because all the economic principles are there, right? It's just a self-imposed sort of depression or whatever, right? But as soon as, the economy is actually fine. Like, if you look at it, it's just like we can't do what we want to do because we don't all want to die, right? But as soon as that gets lifted, which is now they've got the vaccine, so they got to dole them out. If you compare us to 1918, I mean, we're doing way, way, way better. There's way more people died then, right? So I think that we're gonna have, I don't know, the best economic years of any of our lifetimes, right? Like in 100 years. So I think it's going to be really, really good.
Well, there is a big difference because, well, first off, 2,000 people died. But the big difference from now to then is they didn't have vaccines. So that's the good thing about now.
Yep.
Also, Trump's not president too. That's also a good thing.
I watched talking about vaccines. I watched several years ago. It was actually a really interesting movie about Salk, Jonas Salk. It was kind of documentary-ish, but it was about, oh gosh, not rabies. His first vaccine was developed for it's a hideous disease. What is it?
Polio? Was it the polio?
It wasn't polio. It was so it wasn't Salk. It was never mind. My story's falling apart by the moment. But
how's the eggnog, Beth?
Yeah, exactly.
But the whole point was that people thought the vaccine was going to be horrible and they were all going to die from it, and they mocked him and they feared him, and what he did basically stopped some hideous diseases. And so this idea of people mocking and fearing and being really down on vaccines, that's nothing new.
I agree. Now we're gonna start wrapping up, but HB, I want you to have the last word, and we can go over a couple minutes and wrap up.
All right. My name is HB Gibson. I'm from Newark, New Jersey, and I met Keith Andrew, I think, about like 2 years ago, right?
I have to look back.
It's been a while, but yeah, ever since I met him and everything, we had a good rapport. He's always asked, he from time to time, not always asked me to be on the show, but from time to time he reaches out to me, and I appreciate it because he's good with helping people and exposing, and getting people exposure and networking and hooking people up. I myself, I'm an actor, haven't been in anything in a while. I'm a YouTuber, also a podcaster recently, and I am recently practicing voiceover, and so far so good.
I'd say you have a really good voice. Gorgeous voice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. People have been telling me that for years, and then one day I looked at my fiance. I was like, honey, I think I want to do voiceover. She's been like, I've been trying to tell you that. She actually stormed out the room mad because she was telling me to do it. And then I said, well, I need to get some equipment. And before I know it, she sent me a photo of a microphone that I was looking for, and I was like, you like that? I was like, yeah, that's the microphone I've been looking at. They're always, checking your history when you're, on your computer. And I was like, yeah, I like it. She was like, well, I just ordered it. I was like, what? And then she said, well, it's up to you to hook everything else up. So what I did, as you can see right here, I'm back here. Let me give you a quick story about what happened. We moved to Atlanta in the summer of 2019. And in January, unfortunately, the condo that we lived in caught fire. And, we were already kind of having a rough time over there because she had to keep going back and forth to New York to take care of her father. And it was in a way, sometimes, life has a funny way of telling you to go back home, and because my mother needed help, her father needed help. So we just went and just packed up and came back up north. Her father's in New York. She stays with me, and she just goes back and forth just to check on him and everything. I go and visit as well, and I'm here watching my mother. And I was like, well, Mom, listen, my job just closed down when COVID hit. Closed down. I transferred from the company that I worked for over in Atlanta over to Newark, and I didn't work there 3 weeks, and when COVID hit and just shut everything down. I'll never forget what I like to call the layoff party. The boss called everybody in for one particular day, and I saw pizza all over the place. I saw soda all over the place, and I was like, well, this is the nicest you don't have a job anymore party I've ever been to. So it gave me a chance to look into myself. And, and with COVID happening all over the place, it taught me to appreciate life. It was a test of faith. as a matter of fact, I took my aunt before she passed away. I took my aunt to the hospital, and I saw an old friend of mine that I used to make music with. And I said, "Hey man, what's going on?" When I walked over to him, he was like, "No, don't get too close. I got COVID." I was like, "Whoa." He was like, "Man, just pray for me." I said, "I certainly will." And it really hit home, you know, and it just told me, you know what? Don't take life for granted, man. Make the most of what you have. If you have an issue with a family member, just squash that bullshit and just like, you know, if at all possible, you know, reach out to people, squash the beefs, stop all the nonsense. Let's stop arguing over nonsense, and let's work together as a human race to try to build and do better. We're better than this. You know, especially with all the stuff that's been going on, with Trump and the racism and the economic situation. I believe that if we just looked at each other as people and not as like tiers of economic of economic groups and racial groups and everything, we have so much to offer as human beings. We can build, you know. So that's what I basically learned. I learned, like, you know, faith, working on yourself, because this COVID thing, being at home and everything gave me a chance to work on my chops as a voiceover artist. I've done like a lot of freebies and everything. I'm trying to get paid.
Oh my God.
It takes time, man.
It takes time. But so far so good. I did some voiceover for some promo stuff for some friends, you know, who have books and comic books. I did recently a trailer for an animated series that's coming up, and it's amazing the reasons why things happen. I know it's crazy, but things happen for a reason. Perhaps this whole shutdown thing, this whole stay-at-home thing, is a chance to look at yourself and your surroundings and appreciate what you have. I remember one of you just said, like, you know, I can't get away from my wife. I can't get away from my kid. Appreciate your wife. Appreciate your kid. You know, because guess what? You could be by yourself with no love. I mean, think about the people out there that have nobody, you know, but it made me appreciate life. It made me just thank God for life, and, you know, that I'm among the living and that I can make a difference.
Beautiful. Well said.
HB, I'm from Jersey City originally.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah. I grew up there.
Right across the way.
Yep.
All right.
That you said trailer making, because I just made a trailer for I think the last Harry Potter movie, and my teacher just loved it 100%.
Well, good. Awesome.
For you.
Yeah.
And Jen came in near the end. Do we have time, Keith? Because Jen's there.
Yeah, we have time.
Oh, hey, how you doing? Sorry about that. I had another meeting at 5:30, and then I thought this was going to be over at 5:30, so I've been bouncing back and forth.
I was actually going to keep it 28 minutes, but I was like, you know what? Hell with it. It's a special holiday episode. Let's make it as long as possible.
Yeah, sure. Why not? But I like what you were just saying about how I think, the pandemic is teaching us, I think, to appreciate the little things in life. All the things we kind of took for granted in 2019 and before that. I think we're all going to kind of, at the end of this, I think we're going to look at life with a better appreciation of everything and everyone, you know?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
I love your Lost Boys poster behind you. One of my favorite movies. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's one of my favorites, too. I also have one over here. It's Killer Clowns from Outer Space, which is one of my favorite movies as well. That was my cheeseball horror movies and stuff. Yeah. But thanks for having me, and happy holidays to everybody. I hope everybody stays safe this year. It's going to be kind of a different kind of holiday celebration. I know my family, we're probably going to do something virtual because everybody's kind of nervous about the whole situation, and I think we have to be extra careful right now. We're very close to getting vaccinated. So now is the time, I think, to be extra careful so we can get to that final hurdle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But, for me, to give you a quick highlight, for me, just trying to find the words for it. I get to do what I love. Hang out with. I would love to hang out with you guys in person. Hopefully, we can do that one day. I get to do my talk show network. And, the year started off fine, but then, the shit was hitting the fan. Last week, my dog passed away, and, that wasn't
Oh, so
really
sorry.
easy.
Girl.
I'm sorry?
So sorry.
Sorry. That's hard.
It is, my dad's devastated, we're all keeping an eye on him. Not to go into detail about that, but going back before that, I wasn't close to my cousin or anything. He had a lot of issues to shake his stick at, long story short, but he committed suicide. Before that, my dad's cousin passed away. So, it's the stupid expression I was saying, people die in free, but whatever, we're not talking about negativity or anything, but I get to do what I love. And, HP, what you're talking about, if you have any problems with your, me and my brother don't get along. I try really hard to get along, and it's mostly my fault because I rub people the wrong way, and people are like, oh, Keith is being an asshole, or he's doing this. It's just, I have poor mannerisms, so sometimes, yes, I will do something to get a rise out of me, but there's other times where I'm just being myself, and they're like, we can't deal with Keith. So I love my brother very much, but there are times where I just feel like smacking him, and he feels like he wants to inject me in the face, and it's like, brothers fight and all that. But, it's the holidays, and you mentioned another thing, not to harp on it, people need to squash all the minor BS that they have to overcome. But we're not going to talk about that on the
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, pretty much.
if at all possible, and this is in the good book, if at all possible, let's live peacefully amongst each other, but that does not mean that you have to be in the same room with them.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I agree. Now wrapping up the talk show, I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. It was a real honor and privilege having you guys on the official first episode of the Keith Andrew Network Christmas/New Year's, and I'm looking forward to part 2 next year. I just want to say thank you.
God bless everybody.
God bless everybody.
That was a lot of fun. Merry Christmas, everybody.
I'm Penny Fine.
Hi, it's Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ellen George.
I'm Shauna Toth.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Hi, I'm Amelia Rose.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrew's show. He's doing a terrific job. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more awesomeness.